Hi there, I'm Allie Elliott.
Hi, I'm Allie Elliott. Welcome to my stream today. I have a session to finish up, and then I'm gonna do a little more to this one. This went through competition once, and I got some great feedback. I worked on it a little bit yesterday, and then I have a session to finish up too. And my computer shut down all of my folders, so that's what I'm getting opened up again. I've got a little, I think I've got food poisoning right now. Um, One thing that I need to find, so I thought about this image a lot. One thing that I'm going to do first here is back up a little, and then I'm going to take this. It's a copy of the shapes of the kids, and they have their chairs with them. And I'm going to take the brightness completely out of it. I'm going to create like a hang on. Actually, I'm going to do this. It's running kind of slow today. I must need an update. Maybe it seems like there's always one. There we go. And then I'm just going to I'll probably duplicate this so that it can have, when a candle flickers, the shadows that it's creating are uneven. So I'm going to try and create that flickering. And then you've got the little touch of the candle there. First things first, I'm going to blur this pretty heavily because this one will probably get erased back. But I don't want to rely on that. So what I'm going to do for this one, I want to create a shadow that's kind of coming from the candle, so it'll have like a center point. Compositionally, I want the shadows to have a pattern, a visual pattern, and I'm going to create that with some perspective like that. So there's one. I'm going to duplicate that and take that down some. And that'll just give a little bit. I'm going to blur that a little more even. Because this shadow has too much. It's kind of hard. I'll just do that same amount again. And then this one is at 35%, so this one's gonna be a little more because it's closer. Not a lot more though. And then I'm gonna go ahead and merge those because this is something, if I have to redo this, it's not a huge deal. There's nothing that exciting happening here. I'm not very peppy today. I've got a little touch, I think, of food poisoning. And I don't think I mind. it actually creates a nice little layer of depth. So what I decided, I thought about this a lot because the furniture that we had there was not working. So I put his stool back. And now that I'm looking at it, I want to put some more highlights, like some highlights around his legs. Because they're up closer to that light, and especially right here because it's got two light sources. I'm going to add this back in because I did this on the flattened version, and then of course, you know, we went back. So I'm trying to center it right over. And then go a little bit bigger than that even. But so we're creating this glow from the candles on their faces, on their clothing. So we don't necessarily have to rely. I'm just gonna call this candle halos. We don't have to rely on putting an actual glow around them too much because we're creating that with other elements. What I came up with on this is I wanted it to be an empty chair. And if I duplicate his stool right here, that not only is an empty chair for her, it also keeps the candle where I want it, and it visually gives a little more explanation to what he's sitting on. So now that is a chair from my studio. I have to find a picture of the chair. And that might be something that I find another time off stream because it's not that exciting to go through. Honestly, it would probably legitimately take me less time to run into the studio, take a picture at the right angle and with the right lighting and bring it back and upload it than it would to go through clients. What I do need to get to work on, which I'm really happy with how this is coming along, it needed more work, and I knew that, and I had a deadline. I had to get there anyway, but I'm still really glad I did. It was totally worth the entry fee because of the feedback that I got. And just being able to take a look at something with a little bit of separation. You know, I was watching it and they discussed it, which I'm so grateful for because not every image gets discussed. When I get a good score, I desperately want them to not discuss it. So this worked out really well because I got good, strong feedback. And now I'm going to edit these. These are not going to be anything remarkable as far as outdoor. Hey, Impoverish, how's it going? This was a light test. They still had their little coats on and everything. But this was the first time I got to even be outside. This is kind of a static, but we'll go with it anyway because I don't know how much they can be outside. The little dudes were a little over it. How's it going, Impoverish? What you got on the agenda today? 4774. I am not my best today. I don't feel great. Let's see. This might be. Well, I'm gonna grab that one too and just do a quick head swap. Yes, cat glasses. I love it. My cat has been non-existent to me today. I don't know where she's at. It's raining, so she's probably watching it. There we go. 4781. Plan client's family shoot. Yes. It's supposed to snow when you're in the tulips. That will be amazing. If they're up for it. You never know. I feel like you never know. how they'll respond to like cold weather. I feel like Indiana people we're pretty hardy bunch, and most of the time, but we have a lot of transplants too from all over the world that may not be used to rapidly changing weather patterns. 4783. I have a session at a family home on Saturday, so I'm traveling for that. And it's partly in a home that's been in their family for a few generations, and then partly at their home, which is located in the same property. It is supposed to rain, but as long as they're down for it, I'm down for it. That's the beauty of having old equipment. If my stuff gets trashed doing a cool session, okay. I'm good with that. Like if everything turns out, then I've done. Okay, so Impoverish has done real estate, studio work, corporate Christmas parties inside the office, just not a family at their home for a personal portrait shoot. I think that's awesome. It's going to be the client and her boyfriend, blood parents, and the 1-year-old and 8-year-old. Those are money makers because you get the grandparents involved. Everybody wants them. There was a time in photography boards. Now I might have to redo my basics here to correct for the outside. I might just yeah, I'm going to because I need to warm that up. It was exceedingly cold. But there was a time on the old photography boards where people really did not want to do extended family sessions because of all of the different groups and all the different combinations. And you're always going to there's usually one in-law that is not feeling it, does not want to be there. And there's some tension, within, that's just family stuff, like none of my business. And I love them. I like to break the ice. I like to have that challenge of winning it. The grandpa, you give him some cookies and some coffee. I got some catching up here. 65-inch umbrella. Yes, as you can see, my umbrella was trashed by the wind. Like it was floppy. So I was like, these were supplemental. We already had our indoor session. We were just kind of excited to get outside. I didn't want to take any time to set up a diffuser or anything like that. So I didn't even use my light for everything. This was high noon, not ideal, but it did the trick. And all we really wanted was a few outside. So I was happy with this. Yes. So I feed everybody every time. It's comforting. It's people feel taken care of and felt, at home, and like it's a special, exciting day. And I want the experience to be incredible for them too. Not just obviously I want the photos to be beautiful, but you keep grandpa fed, you're golden. To use balance with the modifier. Yeah. Yes, perfect. So, as far as I have a kit that I bring, and you could probably see it in some of these pictures. I really didn't utilize my kit on this day because it wasn't an outdoor session per se. It was supplemental to the indoor session. So it was just kind of, hey, we can get outside for a few minutes. Let's do it. But I keep my kit with me all the time. Yes. Oh yeah. Everybody loves to be fed. And I feed them at their pre-session consultation, at the actual session, and at the ordering session. And I get different things for different. We used to have a little bakehouse that didn't survive COVID, unfortunately. But it's cool because I've got around my studio, I've got probably 10 different eateries and little cafe type places that I can walk to and like help support, local businesses, and I can network. It gives me a reason to talk to people. And when there's a new place, I can say, welcome to the neighborhood. I'm your neighbor. So, it's really nice way to just kind of dig into that. That's what I was going to do. I was going to head swap the kiddo. So let me get back out here real quick. This guy does not look thrilled to be there. So we're going to fix that. We're going to make him smile. And then the clients that I'm photographing this weekend are long-time clients. They've been with me for ages. And they actually moved away. And that's why I'm traveling. So I told them that I would come to them this time because they have a home now on their family's property. And he's still not looking, but we'll make it work. In fact, we might just use so I always appreciate it. Being that we're a college town, there are a lot of coming and going, This comes up every time, the circus song. I try sometimes, but not today. But I really like the sessions in the family homes. They're a different level of comfort. So if you're still getting to where you're comfortable with the family, it'll help you out too, especially with the kids, because they'll be, they'll want to show you things about their house and they'll be comfortable and they'll probably goof off a little more than they would normally. But those make for great pictures, and just make sure that you keep shooting. But I don't shoot anything that I don't love now, which is nice because it took a long time to get there. It took a long time to figure out what I loved. And then once I figured it out, I wasn't ready to cut off the revenue stream from the ones that I wasn't crazy about. Oh, ChatGPT. Okay. What did it give you? What did you ask it for, like posing or how to make kids more comfortable, or you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back here and this was all shot in relatively the same light, with the exception of I didn't use my strobe for a lot. Where are we at here? Okay, so I'm gonna go back through the entire, it's pretty sharp, but since we're outside, I'll do it because I threw on a longer lens for some of these, and it's not my most reliable lens. That works. And I'll give it a little teeny tiny, you know what? I don't even think it needs a curves bump. But I'm gonna warm it way up because it's chilly and everybody's got. And I'm gonna bring the brightness down and bump the contrast a little bit. Oh no, did it just, oh, that's so annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna redo those all now because okay, I'm gonna do a new action here. Wait. I've got to redo. Okay, I'm gonna delete that. And I'm gonna delete that. I'm not myself today. Okay, cool family suggestions for a photo shoot at home with a professional photographer. Okay. Have you been in their home? Have you seen... Oh, I keep doing this. Okay. Go back. All right. We're going to do a new basics. This will be my outdoor, which I change this basically for every session. But now, unsharp, yes, and then remove noise. It's a lot, but like I said, I don't need a curves bump because they're pretty light skinned, but I do need to warm it way up. And it's gonna look too bright right now because I already know that I'm gonna bring down the brightness and up the contrast. And there we've got nice gradients, exactly what we want. Okay, so now I've got my basics outdoor. And I'm gonna run a little burn over here just because I got a little flare from my flash. And then when I shoot in the studio, I will have to fix my, you can see the corner of my kit down there. Okay, so I have 3 ways to tell if you are ready for image competition. Because I don't know, I'm kind of torn on that because part of me feels like everybody's ready. Everybody will get something out of it. Go for it. But I think there are some things that as artists, as a creator, you have to consider first, and maybe things that you can correct before it makes sense to spend your money on competition. So I can't talk while I'm remembering numbers. So the suspense will build. Let's see, 4780, wait, 4780, 4790. 800. So these are just kind of fun supplemental images to our indoor. Whoops, where'd it go? And it was nice to get outside. It's been so long. 4804. The little boys will be real proud of that one. So I'm even on board with an outside. Oh. 09, 11, and 19. I would be pretty on board with a rainy session at their home. I think that would be cozy. It's your home in the rain too. And since they'll be home, you know, if the kids get too wet, they can go change. I'm bringing wardrobe. I'm gonna check and see what the temperature is gonna be. Right now it's 52 and raining, and that's the warmest it's been in a minute. Right now for Saturday, 56, and only raining in the morning. My session, I thought it was in the morning. I just made one since we go through my hometown, so my husband and kids are going to hang out at my dad's. He just got my mom and dad's, and he just got the basement finished and got a PlayStation 5. So they are gonna have an overly competitive afternoon with their grandpa. And I just got a whole boatload of sessions scheduled. In fact, weekend sessions are for the entire year looking real full, which is crazy. But I think that tends to happen as it starts to warm up and people start thinking about the rest of the year. And my fall families are really good. I tend to have the same fall families every year, and they know that because they know to book early. So if a new family wants fall portraits, they don't think about it until I'm already full for the year. So I had a few last year just go ahead and get on the schedule, and then they don't have to worry about it. Okay. My back is popping. So I've got 3 things. The first one, so I guess I'll start off by saying I feel like there is something important, something valuable in every competition. Not every competition, but every person to enter competition, you'll get something out of it if you want to. But I think that's maybe what I was thinking here is considering first if you want to, if you're there yet. I certainly started competitions before I was there yet, and I don't know if that mattered. It'll get you there. One way or another. You can take the long road or you can take the short road. But the first one is, I wrote them down, I emailed them to myself. You have to be willing and able to accept critique and not take it personally. It's hard because we are in an industry where our work is personal to us for the most part. There are some people that are technicians and they're, probably not going to enter competitions as often because it's not that satisfying. But for people whose these 3, oh, she's not having it there. Let's see, did they give me one? They're all gazing off. 33, 37, I like that one. There it is, 38. 38 and 41. So I was already, having gone through a fine arts major, I was kind of already accustomed. For one thing, I grew up as a soccer player with my dad coaching me, and my dad is not somebody who sugarcoats anything. In fact, I took the fall a lot of times when it wasn't my fault, just being the coach's kid. And as you can see, here is without light. girl's not looking, and I wasn't. There she goes. Look at those eyelashes catching the light. 48.67. So, sports prepared me, I think, not just because my dad was my coach, but that certainly helped prepare me with the accepting critique aspect. And then just being in art, you are putting yourself out there. 48.67. So you have to get used to that feeling. And when I first started, there were tears involved in competition, big time. And, you know, I've told this story a million times that my husband was notorious for his rough critiques. And he's my greatest asset because he will not tell me something because I want to hear it. So I value his opinion greatly for that. I don't always agree with him, but I value it. And I can accept it as a viewpoint that others are saying. And he's not a photographer, but he is an artist. So he's looking at it differently than the judges would. And that was part of my motivation for wanting to go through judging training. I've judged already, but I'm not a certified juror by PPA. And with the new changes, I'm kind of sitting on that. I don't know if I want to. 48.72. Oh, that's actually really cute. Is he looking? Actually, I like that whole thing. The boys were not going to be in it. 72 and 79. Help me remember that. And 79. They were not going to be in it, but I like these, like, just a little touch of chaos. I like that a lot, actually. Those unplanned, especially at these ages, they don't care. They're not putting on airs. They're not trying to impress anybody or thinking about what it's going to look like on Instagram, asking that nobody tag them. They're just hanging out. I'll always be glad when it's time to get back outside and to be in the elements and have variety there and have changing light and all that good stuff. But I am always so grateful for my studio and to have that space where, you know, we're in control of all the elements. I'm liking the rain though, I gotta say. Maybe I need like heavier shutters on my windows or something because I love my house dark. It's so cozy. So being able to receive critique, because you're not going to improve yourself. You're not going to be able to take in that information and be better because of it if you're not willing to receive it. And I've got to go up. I just remembered those jackets. Let me see how noticeable. Oh yeah, they're in all of them. So I'll just run through these real quick and then pull everything back up. Look at that delicious light. And this was high noon. This was not beautiful light scenario. So now I'm gonna open up everything that has that jacket. There we go, just a handful. Wait a second. Okay, I've got an idea for the next one. I'll leave it for now. away those real obvious clone tracks. Just make it less noticeable. I honestly didn't, I forgot that it was there. So once you're able to accept critique in the way that it's intended to make you better, that's step one. And that's a hard, that may not come real naturally to everybody. It definitely does not come naturally to me. But I'm there now. I was excited to get the critique because I knew it wasn't ready. But this will allow me to be able to get it ready. And see things that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. So, and I still have major disappointments. When I had my Here series, that's probably the most personal exhibition as a whole I've ever done, probably that I will ever do. Because of the nature of the images. It was a collection of 20 images. And they were bereaved siblings, and the brother or sister that was lost was built out of the living siblings to be whatever age the child would be if they had survived. And it was a very emotional, it was a 4-year project. It opened in 2020, so a lot of the families didn't get to be there. We had to do virtual for some of them, just so that they would I wanted them to be the first ones to see their images. And it was so cool. And it was in Professional Photographer magazine. It was in, I forget the name of the other one, the NAPCP magazine. It starts with an I. Now I've got to look it up because that is going to bug me. It's one word. I want to say Imagine, and I don't think that's what it is. Let's see. I gotta look on my LinkedIn and my publications. That's how I remember stuff. Inspired magazine. So it was in Inspired magazine. It was in Professional Photographer magazine. It got picked up by several news outlets. There's a class studying it for visual rhetoric in college. It was a huge project, and it was very personal, and it included my children. And it went, the first image originally went through IPC and bombed. And then I was grateful because I wanted to put them through as a set after they were released. I didn't let anybody see those images before the families got to. Outside of my husband, nobody, and my mom saw a few. Nobody saw them. Then once the opening happened, I created an album for competition and put them in, and it did not do well. It did not merit it. So that felt devastating. And that was in 21, so it was just 2 years ago. Everything else I entered that year sealed. Several of them went loan. I had a fantastic year, and it did not feel like it. Because the one that was important to me, most important to me, failed, essentially. I felt like I failed it. And there was no redo for those. That was it. But getting picked up by various publications and stuff helped. It's just a different kind of... And that's one of the things is when you enter a competition, you have to do your research. You have to know what you're entering. You can have an image do incredibly well, win the whole thing, thousands of dollars, prizes, trophies, all that. and then you enter it in another one and it doesn't. And back when it used to be numbered scoring for IPC and everybody wanted 100, and there were some years there were no hundreds, and some years there were, maybe 4. That was a huge year. So that was kind of on my bucket list to try to get 100. Oh, okay. Hope all is well. So that I had to remove from my bucket list because it's not an option anymore. But the saying at the time was 100's 100 on that day only. And there are some really consistent images and, some that will always do well. But when you win something, it's that day alone. So bask in it. And, give images you really love another shot. And that I haven't really done. 4888. So the Conversations with Our Ancestors, which was a creative restoration, which ended up eventually becoming a Grand Imaging Award finalist, which was huge, absolute bucket list item, remarkable year, but it failed far more times than it succeeded. It succeeded once, and that was enough, but it failed dozens before that because it just needed more work. I put more work into that one single image than I put into entire exhibitions at different times. Suggested to get cozy, create a warm and intimate atmosphere, celebrate their hobbies. Yes. Am I? I think I might be Chat GPT. Go outside, get creative with props, capture family traditions, highlight favorite spots in the home, focus on detail. Yes. Yes. Especially pets in the home because you can have that kind of lifestyle. I like posed lifestyle. Like, I'll set you in the good light, I'll set you in a beautiful composition, and then just wait. I'll wait you out until you're in a natural, comfortable moment. Oh, I like that one, though. Oh, I should have spread them out a little bit. We just couldn't get in the water because it was too cold. Yes. I ask for food allergies. I also ask for preferences. I have a terrible memory, but for some reason, those kinds of things, the food things, really stick out in my mind. That's like my grandmother's gene pool bubbling to the surface. As in, like, do you love... Like, for me, I like basically any vegan sweet in the whole wide world. I'll at least try it because I've been vegan for 22 years, long before you could even go get stuff. So it feels like it's still special. And I hate peanut butter in desserts, in like baked goods. Peanut butter and baked goods, that's the only thing I don't like. So if there's something, I ask, I'll kind of chat up the different food places in my neighborhood, and I'll say, have you guys tried Social Cantina, which is like a hip Mexican food place next door, or like there's a juice place with like avocado toast and and just kind of get them talking, and they'll be like, oh, I love the cookies from whatever, and I'll just make either a mental note or an actual physical note and make sure that I bring it. Or if somebody mentions that, oh, it's Grandpa's birthday that day, that's why we're getting together, then I'll bring a little tiny birthday cake or whatever, just something so that they feel heard and seen. And it really makes a difference, not only in their feeling of the overall experience, which I want desperately to give them a happy, positive experience. So they're looking at these beautiful pictures we've created, but they're remembering how much fun they had that day. And just to make it an incredible experience. And especially when it's an extended family like that, big families don't get together anymore. They just don't. I for a long time, I thought it was just our family. My grandmother passed. We had these huge reunions with literally hundreds of people in the summer, and they would last weeks. And people would come and go. And my parents, I grew up in the home that my parents built on the same property as my grandparents that was like a half a mile away. And so I had the respite of my home to get away from the crowds and stuff, but I was involved with cousins and aunts and uncles, and I called everybody a cousin, but I think they were pretty distant relatives for some. But my grandmother was that kind of person that she just made everybody feel so welcome. And with my studio, that's what I try to create, is that welcoming, nostalgic feeling that families used to have. We don't get, like, I barely see my sisters anymore, never mind cousins, funerals. We get together at funerals, and sometimes not even then. She texted she was stressing out with the snow. She called. Oh no. Oh yeah, I think the snow would be so beautiful. And you can go in and out of the car, you can take a breather and just have it be, snow and tulips. That's like Wizard of Oz stuff. That's magic. You couldn't plan it if you wanted to. That's better. Yeah. Little dude. He was thinking about it. Oh, yes. Yeah, even, these pictures that I'm working on right now, it was 19 degrees. And she was braving it out there with a beautiful dress. Let's see how close did this little dude get? Oh, he came back. He came back to us. 18, 24. Oh, little bit's not looking though. There we go. 1832. 1832, 36. Help me remember those. $18, $32, $36. Here we go. 18. I love snow pictures, but we're at the point in the year where nobody else does. And honestly, it was either last year or the year before, everything was in full bloom. There was just color, beautiful spring blossoms everywhere. And we got a snow in April, and it was like, it snowed overnight. We got like a couple inches on top of the blooms, and the sun had that most beautiful sunrise. It was stunning. If you created that in Photoshop, people would be like, that's not realistic. That's too pretty. I don't normally capture families, but I don't mind not like 2 to 5 portrait sessions in studio. I'll pass on that. Oh, I love the studio sessions. You can get creative. You get one backdrop and a light, and you can do all kinds of different things. I finally found, I think I was saying this earlier and maybe I interrupted myself, but it took me a bit to figure out what I like to shoot. And then it took me a bit to be brave enough not to shoot anything else, because I wanted to shoot whatever somebody was going to pay me for. It's just a psychology with kids. Not a father, so kids are just... Well, I've always loved kids, even before I had children of my own, which my husband and I got married pretty young. We were 21 when we got married, and then 23 when we started having kids. And we have a lot. So I've got long, but see, I'm older now than the demographic that's having kids. And this family wanted, so these like half blossoms in the trees where they're just starting to think about blooming. Their little girl was early, and mama was in the hospital trying to keep her in the belly and watching this tree outside her hospital window. So there's very symbolic imagery for them, which I'm very excited about, that we were able to do that. I'm going to take this sun flare out though. That poltergeist. Don't need that. I just need a smaller, I was being lazy. I need a smaller brush. There we go. Capture newborns. Yeah, newborns are a different animal too. I'll photograph any portraits from maternity, newborn, family, senior, older. I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend with, older, and I say older, they're my age. Older than your typical, I want to do different kind of senior session. But, like celebrating where you're at and having, not needing an excuse to get dressed up and have beautiful pictures taken. And I've done some, 40th birthday parties, not parties. Ugh, no, I won't do an event. But I've done some 40th birthday celebrations, the celebration being the photo shoot. And I love those. I'm not prop heavy, but I love to represent people's one of the prompts that I like to ask people at their pre-session consultation is where do you spend your free time? Any given weekend, where is your family? And that helps me get a little window into who they are. Because like where you work is one thing, and everybody's got a different story for why they chose the career path that they did. And it's not always because they love it so much. But when you're spending your free time somewhere, it's usually because that's where you're happiest. That's where your peace is found. I went on a tangent. What were we even talking about? Laughed at or mocked for looking for older people like actual. Really? That's pretty basic. If you only shoot one age group, how boring are you? Like, that's silly. Yes, all age groups and combinations. And I'm obsessed. Maybe it's because my family doesn't have a long lifespan and I'm the youngest of my sisters. So there are generations that I didn't get to meet. I had my grandmother till I was 9, and then that was it. So I'm wildly obsessed. I photographed a family, and they did not want their stuff online, so I don't have it. I can't show it to you, but they had 6 generations in a portrait together. Like not like my conversations with our ancestors, but they were all actually there in the studio. 6. We can't scrape together 3 in my family. That's crazy, beautiful. And I love that they took that moment together. Always wanted to show an older gentleman, like a grandfather in his Sunday best, looking sharp. Yes. There was one like that in the Texas judging that I saw that was beautiful, beautifully done. Keyboard Warriors thought that was funny. Oh, I only have 2 sisters. I'm the baby. In case that's not wildly obvious by my personality. But they're 5 and 8 years older than me, so they had more time. You know, not a lot, but noticeable. A lot more time with everybody. That's crazy. I can't imagine like not wanting, I don't know, maybe that's a respect thing. I have tremendous respect for the older generations. And oh my gosh, your father passed when you were 17. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. That's such a formative time period too. Oh, him kicking his little leg. That's sweet. He had all kinds of health issues. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd been very lucky that my parents never really faced any serious health issues until my mom got cancer. And that was such a short battle. Changed me for the better. That's good. That's a good attitude. Yeah, I mean, that would absolutely have a huge effect. Do you have siblings? She kept peeking behind her daddy and I didn't notice. She just got her little hood up. 58. I'm gonna keep some of these. Beautifully candid. Kids complain about their silly sports and the parents that didn't go. Over the moon, my dad would just drive me to practice and I'd fall asleep. Aww. Yeah, I mean, I think there are just all kinds of variables to families. I know I've been crazy blessed. You know, for my, I think we did talk about that. Gosh, yeah. That's a lot for a kid. I'm going to take these highlights down a little bit just to make sure that the attention is on the family. I'm very close to my dad. I've always been close to my dad because he was my coach, and but we're very much alike, which is not always good. We butt heads because of that sometimes. Yeah. I was extremely close to my mom. I talked to her every single morning. It's been 5 years, and I still will, like, when something happens, like when I got that award a couple weeks ago, like my initial instinct, I think, will always be to call her. Because nobody cares like your mama cares. You know? I miss her like crazy. And I know my dad does too. They were together. My mom and dad were together from the time she was 16, he was 17. They got married when she was 18, he was 19. And she was 66 when she passed. Yeah, that's good. That's good legacy. Last time I saw him, I missed the bus, so he drove you to school. Oh, gosh. You found him. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow. Yeah, that will affect you. Oh, wow. My goodness. I'm sure there are some pretty intense emotions just going through that experience alone. Never mind it being your father. Goodness. Well, I'm sorry. I'm really excited to work on this, and I gotta get this done. Never said once why me and expect things to go wrong. Yeah, I think we all are just filled with all these moments, like big and little, that make us who we are and set our perspective, and it's always changing. And that is why I'm very grateful for the job that I do, because it allows me to work through this stuff and in not only a productive, healthy way, but also that it might connect to somebody else that's viewing my work. So I just took one exposed for the sun because I wanted to have an idea how the light was playing into the sun. Hear people that you're dealing with. This first time is so difficult. I think a lot of times people have a hard time seeing beyond their moment right now, beyond their bubble, and different perspectives certainly make it easier or more difficult. And then, like we talked about earlier, sometimes they're just people of the internet, like people of Walmart. Oh, I see what you're saying. The agent was surprised how much he had to deal with, and he never saw that before. Oh, no. 100-year flood, tornadoes. Oh, my gosh. 8 feet of water in the basement. You don't have a basement anymore. You have a moat. That's one thing that I've always found interesting is that because of where you grew up, where you've lived your life, certain natural disasters will be scarier than others. Like tornadoes are like, we joke around here that the first tornado siren is the go out and look at the sky siren. And so when the alarm goes off, then people just kind of go out and look in each direction. And depending on which direction it's coming from, you'll know the level of better go inside or, well, just take the pool umbrella down. Aww. I love these. Just casual. Just being. There it is, 77. There were no tornadoes for decades. Then when I was trying to sell my house, there were 8 on the same day. Oh no. We have, one thing I've noticed being the Midwestern girl that I am, tornadoes take the same or a similar path. In this field well, it used to be a field. The neighborhood that I'm in had 3 tornadoes come through this field, touch down, make its mark. And then they're like, that seems like a good place for a neighborhood. And, you know, they don't tell anybody that until the first tornado comes through our neighborhood. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's weird. It's happening again. But everybody was posting there. We got really lucky. It just kind of skimmed us. But everybody's doorbell cameras were showing. Crazy. Interstate had 15 feet of water and shut down the interstate in Philadelphia. No, definitely not in Tornado Alley. Yeah, we're here like we asked for it. We're Indiana people. That's on us for picking. You know what though? Like the spiders in Australia, I will take a tornado 1,000 times over before those giant spiders. Oh my gosh. I'm going to lower this. This was high noon, as you can see. And I really didn't think that the lighting was that bad. It's very funneled lights. Protected down in this little gully. In the summertime, I go into this creek and have my clients put their feet in, and it's a beautiful little. Let's see, do I still want all these? Yes, I do. But just like, you know, your perspective is shaped by all of these things that happened and how they happened. You know, you're losing your dad is bad enough, and then on top of it, you finding him. Like that, those perspectives have to form who you are. They just do. And everybody has their thing like that, you know, it's interesting. And I like that about our industry too. And I go back to this not because I'm talking about it on Twitch right now, but just because I feel that strongly about our industry and how important it is to. It used to be photography was important for documentation. Well, if you shoot near leaves with off-camera flash, you don't have to worry about it. It would have to be really strong adverse directional light to give any kind of color cast. But there were no leaves here. Everything's still done. Crying never solves anything. I don't know. Sometimes I feel a lot better when I cry. Yeah, right. It doesn't change anything. Sometimes a nice cathartic cry is necessary. I'm not a big crier. And then when our friend passed away last year, normally in those scenarios, I would be at home, you know, dealing with it privately. And it happened to be the week of our state soccer tournament. So I couldn't do what I wanted to do and let those kids down and just hole up and not be there. So I did a lot of crying in public. And I hate that. I'm not that. I didn't cry at my mother's funeral because it felt very on display. So I Jackie Kennedy'd, you know, my emotions deep down until I got home. I'll leave that one nice and dark and warm. I don't think that you would look at these and go, it was 19 degrees. Because they were absolute boss. Not much much of a crier at the wedding. I second shot was, aw. I'm not a wedding crier normally. Once in a while. And it's almost like, why am I crying about that? I'll cry about goofy stuff. Aw. Yep, sometimes. Usually it's the music. The music might get me. There we go. 4996. Did I already go through these? No, I didn't. 4996. Gotta remember that. The main photographer. What was going on at that wedding? Why were they making everybody cry? My daughters love watching the, I don't know if it's like a show or a documentary or whatever. It's the Disney weddings thing. And once in a while, when they're telling their stories or whatever, they'll get to me. We did at my wedding, in memory of my grandparents that we had lost, we did, the speeches. Yes. That's why I always go for a funny speech. I like movie quotes in my speeches. But they like to watch the Disney wedding thing, and sometimes those stories will get to me a little bit. 97. Oh wait, did I already? Guess I didn't. No, okay, I already did that. Okay, so we already went through one. You have to be willing to accept critique. And you have to be willing. Number 2 is just to put yourself out there. And I already kind of went into that a little bit because I think you underestimate how personal this is. And I guess if you are okay submitting stuff that doesn't feel personal, okay, maybe that's... I've entered things that I don't feel personal about, but somebody else's story. And truly, that's one of the things that I've really fought to break through to my clients, that it doesn't have to be the bright side. It's not just the big, beautiful Instagram moments that change us. Usually it's the opposite. And I think that to be able to honor those other parts of us is so valuable. Aww. And I want people to understand that we can tell your story, and it doesn't have to be the highlights. It can be whatever is most you. And Audacity of the Sun coming to fruition was pretty indicative of that. And I'm so grateful that she was willing to, oh, that's even better, of that place. And it's almost like art therapy. Oh. Is that it? Did I go through all of them? No, it didn't. I guess it's just done though. I have 200 more. 50. 49. Got that already. Hmm. $50.61.
If you ever need me,
50.61. Help me
just
remember that.
call me. I'll waste no time, love. I'll come straight to you. All the rivers wide, dear.
Just gonna maybe
and the road is
finish these
muddy.
up today. Getting
Even
over
if I
that
gotta swim,
clothes.
you know I'll be
Baby
there.
girl.
I love you like a garden underneath the rainfall.
66.
Cooling off a heat wave.
Okay, and then the rest we're like, we'll just get through those in a chunk because they're just her
A man
giggles.
used to.
There it is.
I'm the kind of man that
Okay, I'm gonna grab that one too. 50.73.
Just call me. I'll waste no time, love.
So, as it stands now, I've got 7 categories that I'm gonna enter.
And the road is
1,
mud.
2,
Even if I gotta
3.
swim there,
3 are completely done.
if you would've
4 is
told
close,
me
and then
your
2
mom
more
was coming,
concepts are developed that I'm very excited about. Then I've got the last category is the newborn. The category is newborn maternity, which I will continue to complain about that category for the rest of my life because I think that's super weird to have those combined. You don't shoot them the same way at all. But regardless, that is what it is. So that's what I shoot more than anything. So I'll find something there. I just want to make sure that it's super dynamic. I don't want to enter anything into any of these categories unless I feel like it has a strong possibility of heading into the top 32, and beyond that, the Gia. Because if it doesn't, then what's the point?
The words you said was so plain to
Improving?
see. Oh, you don't
Just kidding.
want me.
I do see a point, but $50 a pop. I'll learn something one way or another.
Don't love me. But if you ever need me, honey, just call me. I'll waste no time, love. I'll come straight to you. Our river's wide, dear, and the road is muddy. Even if I gotta swim there, you know I'll be there soon. Even if I gotta swim there, you know I'll be there soon.
And then I'm just gonna define her eyes a little bit better. Oh, okay, I gotta catch up. Came with a new version. I was hearing the version 3 was testing. Bottom 10% for the bar exam. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. That's like the guy in Suits. I do use Microsoft Office. I have a book coming out, and I wrote it in Office in Word specifically. Got a lot of grain in here. It's not really showing off her beautiful eyelashes. My watch squeaked on the... Whoops. Not quite that small. Oh, Microsoft is Leveraging chatbot. Huh. That's weird. Sometimes I just want to live off the grid. Except I don't want to, like, do anything. So I want to live off the grid, but with other people to do stuff on the grid for me. That's interesting. Especially with Excel, you can ask it how you, with all your data, to give it specific information. It'll write whole reports and see. I'm old school, and like, what happens if it's wrong? Do you have checks and balances on that stuff? I don't know. I am untrusting of robots still. I'm sorry, robots. I know you're listening. We'll get there. We'll get there, but I'm just not there yet. Let's see how many we've got. I've got 117 for their gallery right now. It's about par for the course for family. I'm going to set up some wall displays, some mock-ups for them. I got to get some new rooms though, because everybody, I have white rooms. They're all white. Like, it's every room in the house, but they're like white, lush, soft grays. And everybody's like, yeah, my house doesn't look like that. I have children. Just make sure those trees are relatively level. Okay, I want to keep the blades of grass under them, so we'll just... I'm starting to feel hungry, which is a good thing, because I haven't really eaten today. I had food poisoning. I think we're lucky that Easter is so late this year, because if, like, this is normally when we might be having Easter or really close to this, and it would be way too cold. Oh, my back is popping like crazy. I thought I might cut one of those, but they all have different qualities that I like, so I'm gonna leave those. Has their job, 9 to 5, and getting drained. They settle for second best, scared to risk what the future might bring. What the future might bring. I hold my breath, waiting for someone to knock at my door. Always had to go to Easter. I don't love Easter. I'm a Debbie Downer on Easter. I know people love it. My mom loved Easter. She loves spring. And that's about the time of the year that everybody in my family dies. So they ruined it for her. I ate so much chocolate and with Reese's. Yes. What is it about? I don't know. No matter how often I eat chocolate in the morning, it makes me think of Easter. Why Easter and not Christmas, or, you know, like, it's not like it's all that rare, but but morning chocolate makes me think of Easter. Her hair is flowing beautifully. Wind machine. You hated Peeps. Nobody likes Peeps. That's universal. Show yourself. If you are someone who openly likes Peeps, we need to hear from you, because I don't think those people exist. Yes, man. So that's one thing I miss from being vegan. And it's been a long time. Like, when I went vegan, we barely could eat anything, never mind sweets. But no, they weren't Cadbury eggs. My sister liked Cadbury eggs. But the Reese's cups shaped like eggs, yes, sign me up. And whatever the eggs were that have like, it's kind of gross when you think about it, when you break it down like that, but it was like a cream. What are those called? You just buy them, you just buy the egg. It's a chocolate egg, and it has like it looks like a yolk in it, but it's candy, it's a cream. That's gonna bug me now. What are those called? I'll know them if I see them. But most things my husband can make vegan, because for all the times that I was pregnant, and I would crave something, he would figure out how to make it for me. And we got a lot of really good meals and snacks and stuff out of my pregnancy cravings, because it was a reason to try it. And that's one of the things, like, we could probably do it now, but it would be hard. It would be much more work than it was actually worth. Someone brought an egg of years ago and then a current one. And you can see, oh yes! Protecting that bottom line. And then they make feel bad because you can eat like 4 of them. Pack of 4 when I was a kid. There's so, yes, I've got to look up. What are those eggs called? Are they just, maybe they're just cream eggs. Cadbury cream eggs. Yes. Dang it. Okay, now I've got to look. Vegan Cadbury cream eggs. Because I like this song. There is a version that decidedly does not look like it would taste good. And then there are recipes. Here's the thing. I'm never going to do that. If I'm ever just like wildly rich, I'm going to have like a pastry chef. That's not a pastry chef. What would that be? A chocolatier? I'm going to have a chocolatier. Rich people are doing it wrong. You have the wrong people at your house. Another product that bothers me is, why do Oreos bother you? Yes. And what's funny is, like, they've got, especially with Oreos, because Oreos are vegan, and they've got like the regular ones. Nobody's buying those. And then they've got family size. And then they've got party size. But my family is party sized. So we just skip a level. We leveled up. Well, and that's why everybody gets like 2 or 4. Oh, I like this song. Where is it? Egg McMuffins. Yeah, I've seen some stuff like that where the burgers aren't as big as they used to be, or okay, we've got 124 edits here. A little bit overboard. Did I already do this one? I am a little much. I like being, I'd rather be too much than not enough. I'm feeling hungry. I'm glad about that because I was not feeling good earlier. 73. Okay, I already did that one. That sunflower is a little much. Oh, I like that one though. 5090. Yeah, burgers are. I haven't had. So I went vegetarian when I was 12. So coming up on 30 years, and my family was regular meat and potatoes kind of family, and they were like, "Okay, weirdo, this is a phase." They're still waiting for it to pass. But I used to throw back a Wendy's chicken sandwich like crazy, but I was never much of a meat eater. Aww.
No, I'm not one of those who is the center of attention. I'm not one of those. No. Some people might say I am afraid, but I just do think about.
That's crazy because, like, as Americans, I think we're getting significantly bigger and bigger. Oh, they're so cute.
What defines me, but I don't need them honestly, 'cause I got you. Everybody else makes
So I went vegetarian when I was 12, and I went vegan when I was 19.
like everybody else.
So I've been vegetarian 30 years, vegan for 22.
'Cause you're not like everybody else.
Yeah. I had to do the math.
You're everything everyone else is not.
And my kids are lifelong vegans, which I don't expect all of them to. They can do whatever they want. As long as they understand, they can do whatever they want. And I expect some of them, oh, they're so cute.
Who judge before they know somebody. I just feel at home.
24, 28.
You like to take things.
I'm back. Can you see me now? I don't know what's happening. Is it working? I have 0 viewers. I'm almost done too. It's really not. I don't know what happened. That's weird because it looked totally fine from my end. Let me see if I'm. Gotta check. Am I? I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know if you can see me or not. So I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry about that. But I have to finish the session regardless if anybody is here to keep me company or not. But these two are precious and I can't narrow their pictures down. So here we go. And this is a little bit of a heart shape. I don't know what is happening, but it appears that people are having trouble in my stream. Hey! Are you here right now? Is this happening? I don't know what happened because everything looked totally normal. All of a sudden it said 0 viewers. It's a ghost. That's weird. I wonder if that's on my end because everything's totally normal on my end. Like it shows connection is good. The rest of my internet's not cutting out. That's strange. I'm not good at this, guys. I'm sorry. I have bad news for you. Now I'm paranoid. Oh, you've been here the whole time. It said 0 viewers. Could you hear my answer to your vegan vegetarian question? That seems to be what sets the ghost off. So I got the shadows added to Keely's candles, and I need a stool. I might add a back to the stool. Well, that's weird. Everything looked totally normal here, so I didn't know what was going on. Just like a little pixie with her Oh, okay. That'll be interesting to see what it saved. Usually it's my Photoshop that's like, nah, you're done. Okay, so here I added these shadows, which are nice. They give a nice weight to that image. I'll get the stool in here, and then I'll do some work to the candles, because the bottom of the candles near their hands, I want them to be a little bit darker. I corrected the light on their faces, and I will get that ready. Which one? In the one that I'm, the full session that I'm editing, this was her first birthday session. Oh, we went, let's see here. All right, I got some nice ones of mom and dad. And I'm gonna add this one with a little bit, with her little head sticking up there. Never far away, they're always right there. 5157. And then she was actually looking at me and smiling. Yeah, this was her first birthday shoot. She was a sweet pea. It got real close. Let's see, 90, 91. Yes. Yeah, that's intentional, the double shadow, because we've got multiple light sources in here, and the way the way the candle flickers, it creates the illusion of, not only that, we've got 6 candles. So it kind of creates this like dancing shadow. Let's see, do we want both of those? 2, 5, 2, 5, 10, 11. Two, 5, 10, 11. Sensor dust. It might actually be easier to just it's like a dizzying pattern. So I'll run that through Indiana. I've had a lot of good things happen in the Oklahoma competition. I haven't actually heard anything about it this year, but I think it'll be worth checking into. In fact, I'm gonna look right now and see when it is. I spoke there a couple years ago and had a great time. It's a fantastic group. Let's see. Georgia, Intermountain, Indianapolis, Maryland, Maine, New Hampshire, Oregon, Colorado. Spoke to that group this year too. Central Florida, Houston, West Virginia, Tennessee. Spoke to that group too. And Wyoming. So I don't see Oklahoma. So maybe I missed it. Might have been earlier. That's what I got that for. Oh, you know what? I bet it is earlier. Yeah, I definitely played with the shadows in the candle one to anchor them, and then also to create that moving light. Like its pose here. This one needs a curves bump for sure. My strobe clearly didn't recycle as quickly as I was shooting, so he didn't get full. Those bright eyes. Actually, I'm gonna leave that because I like this tree anchoring it. So normally I would leave more room. Actually, maybe I will. Yeah, there's not any information over there that I want to keep. So that he's looking into the negative space. I was trying to take the lazy way out. So I really just want that eyelash. Dodge. And then I'm going to blur it out so that we can make sure her eyelashes get the full attention. Still a lot of highlights there, so where'd my mouse go? There we go. Red nose, you can kind of tell how cold it was. This cracks me up. Every parent knows. It's very symbolic, little one. So hopefully that shadow in that composite is doing what I intend for it to do, but we'll see. If it 5214. I'm gonna check and see how many I got. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. D215. There we go. The Rocky. We'll give him that one. Two, 27, 29. The little brother pops in. Usually it's with a newborn with an older sibling, and you get one of like where you're trying to get the siblings together, and then there's always one that like runs away. Those are my favorites. Let's see. But series like this are always good for wall collages, for sets, for wall art. Give them some options there. Canvas collages, those little hands sneaking in there, have been one of my most popular products for many years. I keep thinking something else will take them over, although they are looking more, they're looking less like canvases. I heavily prefer the stripped canvases and mounted on wood and framed like a traditional. So it's really just the material, it's not the stretching that people are getting. It's got a nice golden tone to it. Gotta get that missing tooth in there. That's my favorite, when babies get their bottom two front teeth, and when bigger kids lose their top two. Those are my favorite tooth phases. Now I'll have to remember next time we're editing in studio pictures, to create a new action. I think I did. Okay, good. I put outdoor on there. So I'd remember. I like that little flare because that is sun flare and not... sun flare doesn't bother me. I started my studio in the age of sun flare where that was like the most key element to your photos. It's whether or not you had sun flare. We've come a long way. Getting done. And then I thought I would have to be back every day this week to get this done, but they really came together quickly. I do want to keep working on this, and then I have. So I've got to put the stool in, and then Photoshop sun flare usually. Yes, when that wasn't a thing when I started my studio. You couldn't add sun flare in Photoshop the way. Oh yeah. Oh, I added it. Let me tell you, that was like the thing. Oh man, I'm glad we're beyond that. Very glad. It was so innovative. Aw. Let's see, because of the action I'm using, I'm going to use the one that's a little brighter because I put a pretty heavy deepen on that. 52, 56. So I want to balance Let's see. 69, 77. Oh, wait. No, I like 78 better. Switch that up. Yes, it's been a solid 12 years since I added sun flare. And soon into that whole fiasco, I just learned to shoot sun flare because it looks so much cooler. So one thing I'm gonna do on here that I'm gonna do on stream is to do a series. I've got clients that I've had since the very beginning of my studio. They've stuck with me through moves and all kinds of things. Graduating high school, the kids that I started photographing when they were little bitty toddlers. So I want to do kind of a reel for them of their kids growing up. And I'm going to do that with mine too. So I probably will get back on here tomorrow for that. Now I'll be in studio all day on Friday. I'll be on location all day Saturday and Sunday. Sunday we've got church, and then we've got a house to see, and then we've got brunch. And then my weekends are spoken for the foreseeable future, which is nice. You know, work is good, business is good, but yeah, Saturdays are done deal. Brighten that sweet little face up. I'm gonna bump these curves a little bit. She wasn't that, she's kind of in the shadows there. I'm very excited to hear how the tulip snow session goes. That sounds insanely gorgeous. Got some also insane sensor dust here. I don't know that I'll use this action again because it's not very often that I have noon sessions. Well, the whole session started at noon. We were in the studio first, so it was probably between 1 and 1:30, so still pretty so I've got 2 concepts, one of which I need to work on this, and then one I need to find the person for. I need a senior, high school senior, not a senior citizen. I would photograph them too, but for this concept, it specifically says high school. And so my illustrative portrait, check, that's going to be Audacity of the Sun. Natural portrait is check, that's Map of Courage. Children and teens, that is is going to be Troop of One, which is printed back here. And I'll start painting that any day now. That is going to be that category. And then this one, when it's finished, that I'm working on now, is going to be the group portrait groups, families, 3 or more people. So that'll be a check. So then I've got newborn maternity. I don't have a concept for that yet, but I shoot that a lot. So I probably have something I could use, or I could develop a concept and find somebody to model for it. Hey, 21 people and I'm getting ready to leave. No, this always happens. Hey, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. How's it going? How was the stream? Hey, Bear. Oh, look, it even tells. I know. I ran out of stuff. Yes, we'll find somebody. We'll find a home for you. Oh, that's awesome. You got roasted. Oh, no. Well, that happens. Oh, you know what? I was going through 3 things to figure out before you know if you're ready for image competition. And then I got sidetracked. So procrastinate. Don't procrastinate, I guess, can be number 3. It's actually... No, that's boring. No, don't do that. Don't sneak out the back and start a new life. Okay, so I am getting ready for a big competition, so I can do that. Well, I was looking at my points, and now I'm tired enough. Like, those are stupid. My points are stupid. Nobody's ready for it. So, okay, the first one is be willing to accept critique, even if you cry when you get it. I don't cry anymore, though, not for competition. If you get mad, curse, whatever. So that's one thing. Everybody says they're ready. Everybody's like, yeah, I can take it. Hey, thank you, new follower. Yay. You know, but I feel like that's a hurdle you have to go over regardless. And be willing to put yourself out there. You're a Twitch streamer. You already do that. So check number 2 off your list. And that's hard. And sometimes, like, there are noises happening. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what just happened. Oh, a follower. Yay. Thank you. I've stopped hearing noises, like the notifications, but I didn't. This might be the most people I've ever had on here. This is a special day. I need to come up with something. And I'll learn to juggle. I need something cooler than what I actually have. I'm sorry. Number 3, I have a list. I always have a list. And did I already say that? Oh yeah, and have you maxed out what you can improve on alone? Don't enter a competition and not expect to learn something. Even if you win it, you will learn something in the process. Because the 100's 100 only on that day. And some other day, it might be trash. The sooner you learn that, welcome to my stream. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, accept critique, but then you don't have to make every change they say to make, or, you know, we were talking about Sunflare earlier, because when I opened my studio, Sunflare, that was the thing. It was like, if you don't have Sunflare in your images, it sucked. Okay, so now let's see. All right, so this is my natural portrait category, and dang, if I didn't lose the one with the presentation on it already. That is so annoying. I keep putting it somewhere else. Yay, Bear! I got a thumbs up from Bear. And I don't even know if bears have thumbs. Do they? They don't, probably. They would probably be in charge. Yes. Hi, everybody. That was excuse you, 90s. I was a baby in the 90s. Yes, I love critiques. Even if at the end I'm like, shut up. I don't care about your... It was a 15 years ago trend. Sunflare was. I keep saying sunflower. I'm 41. I'm an Instagramma. Oh no. No, not the volume again. I'm accused very often of being extremely loud person, being the soccer coach that I am. So I'm trying to be nice, and you know, you might have headphones on and you don't want to hear my screeching. 15 years ago I was 20. That was a heyday. How old was I? I don't know. I already did math. I did math for Impoverish. Tapping out. No, I have a degree in fine arts, and I did not think I was going to be a photographer. I can tell you what I was not doing was playing music, though. Not listening to it, yes. Going to concerts, absolutely. Bear wins. I still have to do the math. 15 years ago, I was 26. Ashley Simpson concerts. No. You probably, so Fish concerts and Bob Dylan. I took I took a summer off of work and school and followed Bob Dylan on tour. And I remember thinking, like, why are all these old people here? Shouldn't they be doing, they were probably like 30. But I was 19, so Bear is a Viking. What if Bear is a vampire? Maybe he's like 300. I did follow Bob. I touched his shoe one time. So we're basically best friends. And my daughter's name, actually this daughter right here, her middle name is Dylan. Yes, that is what being a groupie is, except he was like 70. That's just creepy, actually. I don't think I was a groupie. I think I was just concerning. That's a different stream. Ew. I was just talking to my client the other day because everybody took their shoes off for the family pictures that I just edited. And he was like, you don't want to see my feet. And I was like, probably. I used a pinhole. In fact, I made it. I did that in junior high. Oh no, I already ran a bunch of people off. I should have juggled. Okay, so I've got Troop of One. I need to get these in the... Oh, I know what the other one is. We'll continue my trend of relatively depressing images. Here we go. I was really pumped that this one did so well, though. A couple brides tell me not to take pics of their feet because they hate how it looks. That's for your other income stream. Bride feet. Oh, yes. Maybe Impoverish is actually the Viking or the vampire. We go a lot of different directions with that. putting on of the shoes. Yes, I was 21 when I got married. Take it all. Yes. This one, I finished it last week and it went into competition and it did really well. It won a distinction award. So I had 5 entries and are they all here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I had a bride whose husband had a feet obsession. Wow. Is that all you could think about when you looked at him? That's why I can't shoot weddings. I can't know stuff like that about people. Now I'm going to look at all your wedding pictures and be like, that it's probably him. Doesn't matter. It happened in my head now. So this one did a merit. It scored well. It's kind of like it's not that exciting, so it probably won't go into any other competitions. This one I was super nervous about because I would not argue that at all. I agree. I didn't go to WPPI. I'm torn on that. I go to imaging every year, and I heard WPPI scrapped their image competition from what I know. And this is all gossip. This is nothing reliable at all in my information. But that they were purchased by the same people who own Portrait Masters. And they scrapped WPPI's competition the week of. I've been doing image comps since Bear was a boy. I'm psychotically competitive and started in college. Now, like the professional ones, the 90s, stop that. I can't tell you. I can't tell you my first one, actually. I can tell you the first one I did for PPA. The first year that you're a member, they give you free entry. And I entered an absolute dumpster fire. And it was like, oh, okay. I got this figured out. And of course, the judges were like, no, honey, this is a dumpster fire. Please find a new job. So I took a couple years off after that. And then once I got back into it, then it was like game on. So this one, what? Oh my gosh, another raid. I'm so popular and I have nothing to do. I'm sorry. Well, we're staying here forever and none of you are allowed to leave. You're basically my hostages now. I'm gonna keep streaming. I need some balls to juggle. That's a different kind of stream. I'm not tagged correctly. Hi, everybody. Did other people come? My music changed and scared me. Okay, so did this just start playing wedding music? Nope. Just depressing. Depressing actually probably goes along with my theme. Ball juggling. Yes, welcome. No chat is off limits here. Actually, that's not true. I take that back. This is the internet. There are definitely things off limits. Okay, so this one did okay. It did like better than I expected, but I didn't have high expectations because it doesn't have much of a story. But I was nervous about this one because it was, it's emo. Oh, I'm sorry. Are they good ads though? Because I made the mistake of laughing at an ad about red flags. Have you guys seen that? Where the guy's changing the light bulb and he has like a tramp stamp lower back tattoo. And I laughed about it. So now my daughter pauses it for me to show me when that commercial is on. So I've seen that commercial 400 times now. She thinks I love it. No! You're gonna give me a complex. There's a commercial where this girl's on a date and like he reaches up. It's about red flags, but he's got a tramp stamp. And I laughed out loud at it. And my daughter was like, oh, mommy loves that commercial. So she pauses it for me so I can come watch the lower back tattoo commercial. I hope it was that one. If automated anything, it's good for stuff like that. Like I'll just think about something at Target and then I'll start getting ads for it. So anyway, I did, it took a turn. It's a hard left turn on the stream tonight. Hey, thank you so much. How was your stream? I'll just wait because I don't have anything else to do. I was supposed to get off a long time ago, but here we are. You guys are my hostages now, and oh, you're gonna get all kinds of ads from that conversation. Oh, AI is just creeping in. So what's the verdict? Are we thumbs up? Or are we becoming homesteaders? What direction are we taking? Okay. Have a beautiful evening. Thanks so much for hanging out and telling feet pig stories. Okay. Was anything good found? We were talking about ChatGPT earlier, just prompts for the type of images, that kind of thing. Crazy good? I'm gonna write it down. I like to take notes because I'm not sure that you can read my chat. So this image is titled Audacity of the Sun, and it was a composite from, well, here, let me show you. I was really pleased with how this worked out though. Noise reduction, sharpening. Oh, cool. I shoot JPEG anyway. I don't shoot RAW. I know, watch the number of people now go brrrr. Where is my folder is the real question. So I just want to show you what I started with here. There it is. It was right where it should be. So this concept, I was not expecting to find somebody. I'm gonna close this out because this has probably run its course. It scored above mediocre in the images, in the image comps that I entered it in. But it doesn't have this story. I really want to make them super dynamic and have a huge story. It was just kind of a for fun thing with one of my kids. Thank you. So this one, the idea behind it was to, when you're really sad or when you're grieving and like something monumental happens and it's like the whole world is still going on. The sun is still shining. It feels like it should be heavy and dark and sad and rainy. And I wanted to capture that, that feeling of like, it's sunny. It shouldn't be. I remember when I left the hospital when my mother passed and we had been in basically a lightless room for 41 hours. And when we went outside, it was 3:00 in the afternoon. I was like shocked that it was sunny. Like you hiss at it. So I wanted to put that into an image. And I have a lot of kind of depressing conceptual images. And sometimes I find people for them and sometimes I don't. So I posted within my personal friends' Facebook to see if anybody wanted to participate. And one of my friends lost her 13-year-old daughter 2 months before. Actually, it was less than 2 months. And she felt like it would be cathartic a little bit, a little therapeutic to participate in something like that. So that is why we've got these. She brought her shoes, she had her jeans, and we're just kind of representing that. The person is made up of a lot of different pieces because I didn't want to put one person there in that scenario. She's got a ring on. There are some Easter eggs tucked in there that only the mom could see. But she hasn't seen it yet. It's going through. I wanted to put it through some smaller competitions before it goes through the big one so that I can make some changes. And it went through Texas PPA and it earned an Image of Distinction designation. Thank you. I was really excited to find somebody where it felt like it was their story. And I think it's pretty universal feeling if you can get out of it what I'm trying to put into it. And sometimes it doesn't always translate. So I entered 5 images in Texas and 4 of them merited, which was pretty huge. Now the one that didn't, this is the one that didn't. And I did this on stream last week and it was rushed and I knew it wasn't quite ready, but I did it anyway because the deadline came. I'm not usually like that. I usually work way ahead. But I had to, but they had an awesome discussion about it. It did not merit, it didn't do anything of note, but they had a really great discussion about the edges looking too hard, the furniture piece that the candle's on is a little bit weird, it didn't fit together. So I've made some changes to it, and it's not finished, but I anchored them with some shadows. I blurred out their edges a little to kind of give that depth of field fall off. And then, and now that it looks like the Haunted Mansion at Disney, right? But I'm gonna get a stool. I'm gonna photograph the stool for my studio, which is actually what he's sitting on. And that'll kind of visually explain what he's on, but I'll also leave an empty chair for their sister. And then I'll have to put some highlights into their clothes from the candles too. So it's far from done, but I've got time now. The other competition closes on the 31st. So I've got like a week. I'm trying not to leave it to the last minute, but I had actual paying clients that I had to take care of first. Okay, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you to everybody who followed and stopped by. Come hang out anytime, and I'll give you a follow too, actually. I'm gonna click. I still don't know how to do this. Oh, look, I can do it from right here. All right, cool, followed back. Thank you so much. And maybe I'll actually have work to do. Yay, thank you. Good to have everybody. And before everybody leaves, we'll find, hello, Spain. Yes. Hello from Indiana. So glad to have you guys. How's it going? What kind of genres are we? All you photographers, artists. So this one's got a lot to do, and I'll be working on that in the next week. I'm just gonna go, I know I have a picture of that stool somewhere, but I think it'd probably be easier to just drive to my studio, photograph the stool, and come back and make sure that I have the angle and the lighting and all that good stuff. So I'll do that tomorrow. And then work on some of the lighting too. And I just wanna keep making it darker, darker, darker. But I want to get some detail back into her outfit. And then this velvet has such a nice texture to it, so I want to highlight that. Yes, you just can't get away. I love it. Landscape and forest. Oh, I can't wait to check out some of your work. Well, I'll try to catch your next stream, and we are going to find somebody to raid because of all these people, and you guys made my day. Oh, I see. I was getting texts about my stream dropping out. Let me see who's on here right now. Oh, wait. No, I can't do it on there. I'm such a grandma. Everybody just hang on. I'm sorry. And for the record, I'm not actually a grandma, even though I keep being accused of being in business in the 90s. I was not. Okay, so Eat Pant he seems to be the only one ever on when I'm looking for somebody to raid. He's gonna think I stalk him. So you guys come stalk him with me. He's a videographer. Thank you guys so much for the raids and for hanging out. Why isn't that working? Did I do that right? Spam. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Let's see. It didn't work yesterday, so I don't know if it will work now. So we'll cross our fingers. Follow me. You know what? Before I do that, I'm going to post my Sad and Lonely YouTube channel because I would love to have you guys there. And I always forget to do this. Here is my YouTube channel and Instagram. And Instagram is definitely the easiest way, like if you have a question or anything like that, because I surprise myself when I stream. It's a big surprise for everybody. But I will be back tomorrow because I need to work on this, and I have a little girl and a cat. Oh, yay. Thank you. Yes, oh no, I've got to go. I've got to put it in my other browser though. Oh no, that's not my music. Don't copyright me. Okay, I'm gonna give you a follow on there. Yes, awesome. And come hang out and we'll have a party. Now, if I can get this raid to happen. Oh my gosh, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Okay, if this doesn't work, I'm leaving anyway. Thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful evening, and I will see you back here tomorrow. In between now, I'll be Instagram and YouTube. Thank you. Bye. Let's go raid. Any second. I'm going to turn my music off in preparation. Let's go. Bye, guys.
Which card is his?
That's why you my mommy.